Hello, I'm Mark Anderson, roving editor with American Free Press. Welcome to AmericanFreePress.net. This is a news report here, September 2011, and I'm with Robert Smith, the Lone Star coordinator of the Texas Nationalist Movement here in San Antonio on the weekend of 9/11. And they're having a meeting here discussing their principles and plans, and he just got done giving an interesting speech where he went over the concepts of restoration, nullification, and even secession with regards to the Texas Nationalist Movement, how they see the state of the nation, how they see the positive aspects of Texas and the potential it has with regards to the nation. And take it from there, Robert. Thanks for being with me today.
You're welcome.
The points you covered seem to outline a goal of secession, whereas nullification and restoration are considered, but you don't see them as being remedies. Would you mind elaborating?
Well, while restoration is based in law and it is moral, it's unworkable. With the economic situation, the situation in Washington, D.C., we would have to turn back several 150 years of unconstitutional agencies, unconstitutional laws, and it's just unworkable. We're never going to get back to a limited government.
The amount of time, the complexity involved?
It's too complex. You have to, the education involved, the corrupt situation that we have in Washington. Restoration, while it sounds good and we'd all like to see that, it's not going to happen.
Now, from the speech I just got done hearing, it sounds like nullification has a lot of the same complications. The complexity, the sheer magnitude of everything, having to nullify every bad law that comes along, overturn court decisions, always going into court, constantly wrangling with the federal government. Is that what I heard?
Yes, it is. Nullification certainly is legal, although the federal government doesn't see it that way. Jefferson and Madison showed that nullification can work. But we've gone 100 years or so now without the states challenging the federal government, and basically the federal government doesn't think it's legal. And if the states had to fight every unconstitutional ruling and agency that came out of D.C., we'd never get anywhere. It'd stay tied up in the court system, it would break the states, and we still wouldn't end up with a limited government.
Interesting. So then secession becomes the third option. And what advantages does it have over the other two that seem legal and somewhat, you can entertain the idea, but they ultimately seem unworkable? What are the advantages of secession? And I often hear the argument, too, that the federal government is the one that's really seceded from the Constitution. They're the ones that broke the compact. There's some nuance in all of this, but what is the advantage of secession?
Secession, given the state of Texas and Texas's history as an independent nation, and the attitudes of Texans themselves for our desire for liberty, it's workable. And we're educating 25 million people rather than 320. We're not dealing with the great bureaucracy in Washington, and we don't have to rely on rulings from the Supreme Court. Secession is workable. Texas has the 10th largest economy in the world. We can go through all those numbers, but Texas can stand on its own, and we will stand on our own.
I understand it even has more or less its own electrical grid, which is quasi-independent of the country, more or less self-sufficient in terms of its electrical grid, just to throw that in.
Yes.
Interesting. Well, Robert Smith, thanks for being with me today here on American Free Press Online. And I'm Mark Anderson, coming to you from the historic Crockett Hotel just behind the Alamo, where they're observing the 175th anniversary of the Great Battle of the Alamo this year in 2011. We'll see you next time here on AmericanFreePress.net.